Hey you guys, this is your craftsmanship worksheet. You're going to need 3 materials to complete it, and they're listed on the paper: crayon, marker, and colored pencil. Doesn't matter what color they are, doesn't matter what brand they are, just that they are that material, so make sure that you have that. And craftsmanship looks like this, you guys. It is how well your work is crafted. That just means staying inside the lines, making sure that everything is colored in completely, making it look neat. That's like the simple way to say it. Craftsmanship is neatness. It is making it look good. You can see how in the one section right here, pour, it needs a lot of work. It looks like a 2-year-old made this. You know, it looks like a 2-year-old went and closed his eyes and just scribbled in here. It is completely unacceptable. If you give me work that looks like that, I'm gonna think that you finished it 5 minutes before class started. This is too, it's okay, but you can do better. I know that you can do better. It looks like you tried. It looks like you finished it maybe 10 minutes before class started instead of 5 minutes before class started. It's still not good. It's still not acceptable, but it's better than a 1. This is 3. It's good, but it can be great. Your work should never be below a 3. This is kind of like the the C of craftsmanship, like a very average, it's okay standard. You can see that it technically is colored in completely. If you look closely, there are some bleeding outside the lines. There is some streakiness, but it doesn't necessarily look bad, but it doesn't look great. And then the last one, 4, it's fantastic. It's an A+. This is what you should be aiming for every time. This is the standard. If you look closely, nothing is outside the lines. It's filled in very cleanly. Yes, you can still see some streaks, but that's because this is a very cheap marker. More high quality art materials will let you get things that look very solid, and we'll go over what kind of materials can get you a better appearance later on in the year. But for now, when you're working with very cheap art materials, just whatever you have around, this is the standard. Even if you're working with better art materials, this is still the standard. Things should be colored inside the lines. They should be colored in completely. It should look very neat and very professional. Like, imagine if you colored in every single middle school, elementary, or like early high school project like this. Like, dude, everyone would be asking you to finish their projects. You'd be the one having to do all of the work in the group projects. So that being said, this is the example. This is what we're going to be making today. You need to have your worksheet out. I'm just going to show you how to do it with marker and colored pencil. I'm going to leave crayon up to you guys to see how you do it on your own. Make sure that you have your name, period, and date written on it, so that way no one tries to steal your work and turn it in as their own. You know, like the guy that didn't do anything in class, he takes yours and then you don't get your credit. So just make sure that you have all of that written down. So we're gonna start with marker. It is the second row. Remember, this is 1, it's poor. It looks like you did it with your eyes closed. Looks like a toddler did it. Literally just a scribble. It's so bad. 2 is, it's okay, but you can do better. So just really quickly, just scribbling that in. You know, you tried, but you can be better. 3 is good. That'll be great. Remember, your work should never be below a 3. 3 is not the standard, but it is like, it's the minimum. It's the floor. It's the basement. It's the bedrock in Minecraft. You can't go lower than that, really. I'm gonna start by like outlining it. Maybe not very good. You can see that it's kind of going outside the lines. Maybe I stayed up all night playing video games when I knew I had something due the next day. And I'm finishing this before class because I want to get at least a C. Other characteristics of 3 is that, you know, it sometimes bleeds out the lines, and sometimes there are little white bits left. It's not colored in completely. It's not quite a scribble, but it just comes off as a little lazy. Like, I hate to say it, but it comes off as rushed. It comes off as lazy. Now 4, this is the exciting part. 4, you have to be really, really careful. You have to use, you know, a light touch. Don't be like, okay, this is my example one. Don't be pressing down super hard like that. You're gonna kill a marker that way. You are going to be a murderer because you kill my markers. And then you're gonna make the tip of the marker look all ugly like that too. So use a light touch and follow the line very slowly. You can see I'm even like going back over my line a few times just to make sure that I'm not leaving any white spaces. Do that if you have confidence in making steady lines. If you, you know, can't really make a steady straight line, it's still a little shaky, go slow. Use a very light touch. We'll go over more of line control later on. And like, I think next week. But again, just use a light touch. Trace inside the lines. It's okay if you have a little bit of white space when you're tracing the line, because it's better to have to go back and fill things in than go overboard and not be able to erase it because, you know, it's marker. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. So much fun. Okay, so I finished my outline. I took way more time than the outline on this. That was very quick because it was rushed. What I'm going to show you next is what my favorite art teacher called the vacuum method. It's like if you've ever moved into a new house, or if your parents ever make you vacuum the carpet in your room or in other parts of your house, or if you ever watch like cleaning ASMR videos on like TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, when they vacuum in the carpet, you see that it goes in rows up and down, and it looks super satisfying and super neat and super clean. We are going to vacuum our marker, because if you, like, the reason that we're doing this is because if you scribble like this, it's gonna get super streaky super fast. You can already see right there, and you're gonna kill that marker. You're gonna be a murderer again, and this is going to be the puddle of blood that shows that you're a marker murderer. And if you're gonna murder someone, you don't want anything leading back to you. So we are going to be house cleaners instead of murderers. And we are just going to go in lines, up and down. It's not a race. I'm not trying to go super fast. I am taking my time to make sure that it looks super duper clean. And again, if there are white spaces that get left over when you're vacuuming your shape, vacuuming with your marker, it's okay. It's gonna stay there until you go back and color it in. Already, that is a big difference compared to this one. If you want to go above and beyond and kind of like make the outline a little more invisible and like the lines a little more invisible, because remember, this is just a Crayola marker, it's super cheap. You can turn your paper the other way and just make perpendicular lines. I think that's the word. I don't know. If I'm wrong, correct me. I teach art for a reason. I'm not very good at math. And it makes it look a little more solid. Another word for that, the artistic word for that, is opaque. It makes it look a little opaque, a little more solid. So that is how you show the different levels of craftsmanship using marker. Remember to not scribble. Remember to not press down super hard, because then you are going to become a marker murderer. Ew. I just realized there's like snot on this or something. That's super gross. Anyway, we're gonna move on to colored pencil. Okay, so I just have my normal Crayola pencil. It's nothing fancy, and it's the same exact thing as this. I'm just gonna show you some different techniques for filling in the 4 standard of craftsmanship, the best standard of craftsmanship. I'm just gonna show you a technique that's kind of different from the vacuum marker technique. So again, 1, same thing, just a scribble. It's horrible. 2, super quick. I don't have my work done, so I'm just gonna fill it in like that. 3, you know, I have maybe a little bit of extra time to get my work done before I turn it in. I'm just gonna go super quick. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. You can see on this that there is a lot of texture in there. You can see that it's not as, remember, opaque as a marker, just because of a difference of material, but also there's like those little white specks in there. You can see that. It looks like it was drawn with colored pencil. I'm going to show you how to fix that. On 4, you can do kind of the same thing that you did at the beginning of the 4 with marker, where you very carefully and very lightly, and not slowly, but just thoroughly trace the shape inside the lines. Again, I'm not pressing down super hard. You can still see like the white dots through this. That shows that I'm not pressing down very hard with my colored pencil. There is no reason to. I'm just gonna keep going until I fill that in. Okay, perfect. So now I kind of have a guideline for what to color in. This is just one way to color in large, large spaces of negative space. There are different ways to do that, and I'm gonna show you how to do that when we do our colored pencil blending. But I color kind of in like little circles, if that makes sense. Like, it's hard to show on like a larger scale how you can get like a solid color by coloring in circles, but it literally just like is moving the pencil in a bunch of circles. It's still not very opaque, but it is a tad better than the number 3 standard. But if you just keep going over and increasing your pressure just little by little, and by increasing my pressure I mean pressing down harder on the pencil, the little white dots start to disappear. That's what we're going to be doing here, but with littler circles. We're not going to be making big giant circles in this little itty bitty shape. We're just going to be making little itty bitty circles. That's one. Remember guys, this is not the only way to color in negative space with colored pencils. This is just one of the many ways, and this works best when you're working with just one solid color. I'm going to go over it again because I still see little bits of white dots. And you can change the direction too, because like circles have no direction. Like, you can't tell me which way this circle is pointing. Like, yeah, you can technically say it's pointing that way because I drew the circle horribly, but if you draw like a perfect circle, it's not facing any one direction the same way that, you know, a line is. You can see the points right here. You can see the direction in which it was drawn. You can't tell that with a circle. So that means that you can just color this in any which way as long as you keep the motion circular instead of zigzag, like a line. Like this, like the marker. We vacuumed up and down first, and then we vacuumed side to side. Well, we turned our paper and vacuumed up and down, but the lines go side to side, horizontally. That's what horizontal means. It means side to side. Again, take great care when you're coloring around the edges, because, you know, one wrong move, oops, you've stabbed outside that line, you've colored outside that line, and, you know, it's pretty difficult to erase colored pencils. Yay, so much fun. Oh, I love coloring with colored pencils, you guys. This is so much fun. Makes me so happy. I love colored pencils, but sometimes it also makes me mad. Like, it doesn't work the way that I want it to, and I get super frustrated, but that's okay because I just look up a tutorial on YouTube, or I ask my friends for advice, because I'm not going to be the best at everything right away. I'm not going to get a gold medal in colored pencil drawing when I've never touched a colored pencil before. You know, you got to put in the practice. You have to fail before you can succeed. That's just the way the world works. And it's okay. It's all right to get a little frustrated. I'm not going to like rage quit and destroy, you know, I'm not going to break my colored pencil in half because I don't know how to use it. I'm going to take a step back and say, oh my gosh, this is frustrating. Maybe I can go on a little walk, or I can drink some water, or I can drink some tea, or whatever I want to do to calm me down. And then I'll log on to YouTube and I'll look for colored pencil tutorials for whatever I want to draw. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is so much better than the 3. You see? That's awesome. So that is how you complete the marker and the colored pencil portions of your craftsmanship sheet. I'm gonna leave the crayon portion up to you after having learned these 2 techniques and knowing the different standards. I'm gonna leave the crayon portion up to you so that you can show me what you know in terms of craftsmanship. And yeah, just finish it, make sure everything is filled out, take a picture of it, submit it to Canvas, make sure that your name, period, and date is on it so that no one steals your work and uses it as their own. And it will be graded, and when you're done, just fold it in half neatly and stick it in your sketchbook somehow on a page, on like a certain page, or put it in your art folder. It doesn't matter which one it's in, the art folder or your sketchbook, as long as you can keep track of it, as long as you never lose it, because you know, this is the standard. If you get an F or a D on a project because you colored like this, or you get, you know, like a D because you colored like this, and then, you know, your mom or your dad gets upset and they message me and they're like, hey, why did my kid get such a bad grade on this? I can email them back and be like, well, it's because, you know, your kid did it like this, your kid colored it like this, and they know that they did it like that because we completed this at the beginning of the year. They know the standards for craftsmanship and for neatness, and they showed me that this is the level of craftsmanship that they want to work with, and that tells me that, you know, they want a D or an F for that project. So that's what I'm going to give them, because it is all known. We all know that these are the standards. We all know that these are the expectations. So there's no excuse to be like, oh, I thought this was going to get me an A. I thought this was going to get me a B. No, you know what it's going to get you because it's written right here, and you know how to do it to get you an A+. And so that's it. Have fun, super low stress. Don't even worry about it. If you know, mess up really bad on a 4, you can just ask for a new paper. It's okay. It's not going to take long either. Have fun, talk with your friends, listen to music. Just make sure that you get it done and get it done correctly, and that you keep it safe. Never lose it.